what's up? So before we get in this video, I just gotta say it. Guys, did you see that event on Saturday? I actually didn't. No, I got kicked from the game 20 minutes before I was about to go live, so feels really bad. Hop on over here. I'm just gonna launch up my game. Actually, it's starting in about 3 minutes, so I'll start that timer down. Weird. It's taking longer to load. Oh, look at that. Let me get signed in here. Yeah, really weird that I wasn't signed in. Oh, that's weird. It's not letting me sign in. Gee, I hope I get in. You know, the event's in less than 2 minutes. I'm sure the third time it'll work, right? Yeah. Sign in failed. Can't happen a fourth time, right? Oh, there we go. Preparing the Epic Games launcher. Look at that. I thought I was in the Epic Games launcher, but that's a good looking loading bar right there. That gives me a lot of confidence that this is gonna load up. I've never seen a loading bar that gives me that much confidence. Oh yeah, any minute now, we're gonna sign in. Gonna sign into the... But I did get to at least watch the Star Wars event, and I gotta say, I was pretty impressed. The event itself was probably middle of the road, but the thing that was obviously the greatest about it was what came afterwards. At the end of the event, a loot crate was dropped that contained blaster rifles and lightsabers, and those are now usable items and weapons in the game. The lightsabers kind of have an infinity blade overpowered type feel, but they are available to all players if you choose to go get one, so they're not necessarily overpowered. I mean, if you want to win, you basically have to use one, but there's not only one in the game, so it kind of works. But with the addition of these new weapons, there have been a ton of cool clips popping up, and what I wanted to do in today's video is look at the top 10 of them. There's some epic moments, some funny moments, and some just plain awful moments. So, yeah. And lastly, before we do get into it, guys, make sure to subscribe to the channel, as I'll be ranking all Hey What's Ups at 3 million subscribers. Other than that, though, let's get into it. So one of the most popular things that have been happening with this new event are lightsaber duels. Since there's more than one per match, a lot of players have been ending their games in a 1v1 type scenario with lightsabers. The endgame 1v1 lightsaber duel. Now these are really cool because basically it just has a lot of players just looking at the other player, dropping all their guns, pulling out their lightsaber, and then just going at it. It's a very interesting and fun way to switch up the endgame, and thought it was a pretty good clip. But you know, obviously not all players are lucky enough to get a lightsaber. If you do want to get one, you have to go to certain areas around the map, and not all players end up doing so. So sometimes you're not going to have a lightsaber, and other players in the game are going to. And this is a clip of probably the most unlucky scenario of that happening. Not only was that a great clip, but I love the title. It's "They picked the worst haystack in the entire universe to hide in." Anyways, moving on to number 8. While some people are having lightsaber duels, some people are just getting absolutely destroyed by other players with lightsabers. An even more unlucky group of players are struggling with their own lightsabers. Everyone's out here having lightsaber duels, and then there's this guy. And it's kind of funny too, because I think a lot of people assume like, oh, once you get the lightsaber, you're pretty much invincible, kind of like the infinity blade, but you still take fall damage. And really, I would say that makes having a lightsaber quite dangerous. Perhaps one might say it's a double-edged sword. Anyways, though, with that being said, moving on to number 7, we've got a bit of a similar clip. So this time, this guy's just standing up all high and mighty with his lightsaber, feeling like a real badass. And he also thought he was invincible. I mean, look, this man, he sits on the council, but he does not quite have the rank of master yet. Now, with all that said, though, I think there is an even more unfortunate group of people who have been subjected to the lightsaber. And I would love to say that the lightsaber is fine, it doesn't have any major issues with it other than being a really strong weapon, but that's not actually the case. And no, actually, the problem with these weapons are both related to animation and hitbox. You can swing this thing like not even looking at a player, and sometimes you will just get a random hit. The animation looks really cool, but when you slow it down and look at where it's swinging compared to where it's hitting, it's just absolutely ridiculous. But anyways, with all that said, this next upcoming clip is one of the worst I've seen for this. Okay, so like, what just happened there? Like, the dude was literally completely facing the opposite way, slashed at the air, and the guy died. And that's in a case where this guy had a lightsaber. Imagine if you're fighting someone without one. They're really cool and they're really fun, but they're just definitely not fine-tuned. Now, moving on to our number 5 spot, despite these being very, very powerful weapons, people have managed to find ways to counter them. The biggest issues from lightsabers obviously come from the moments where you, the player, don't have one, but the enemy does. As long as they're blocking with their lightsaber, it will stop every bullet coming straight at them, so you basically can't do anything to shoot them from the front on. And then obviously, if you're in a 1v1 scenario, there's not a whole lot you can do. So what some players have been doing is actually resorting to traps. Since lightsaber users have to get extremely close to you to hit you, the best thing to really do in these scenarios is just lay down traps. Now, obviously they can still break them down with their sword, as it does have pretty strong structure damage, but it is probably the best defense you can realistically do. If you're lucky enough to come across a few in a game and manage to get a few up and box them in, even if they are able to break 1 or 2, they're probably still going to get hit by 1 if it's up top or below them. And that's what this guy does in the clip for the win. I gotta say, it was very impressive for him to do that, and also very good strategy. Not the easiest thing to do by any stretch of the imagination, but traps are kind of right now looking like your best bet. Or maybe explosives, but also very hard to land. Now, moving on to number 4 and kind of away from how it affects gameplay, I actually wanted to look at a clip that isn't related to lightsabers at all. So I'm sure everyone watching this video is familiar with rocket riding at this point, but did you know that the lightsaber blasters can actually be ridden? So instead of rocket riding, I guess you would call this stormtrooper blaster bullet riding, but it's very cool that you can, one, do it, and also it actually has an arc to it. So instead of a rocket, which just sends on in a linear slope the entire time, this one is actually parabolic, so you can come back down to the ground. Now, unfortunately, in the clip that you're watching this, there is still fall damage when you're on one, so unfortunately, once you hit the ground, you are most likely going to still die. But I think there might be a way to use this sort of effectively, like if you do it in really low arcs and just trying to get across hills, maybe. It seems fairly easy to do and isn't as costly as something like using a rocket, so I feel like maybe just using this as a transportation method might be effective. It might be an effective way to move players through the storm. Who knows? But either way, I just thought it was really cool that they chose to include this as a rideable object. Now, moving on to our number 3 spot, I just wanted to move on to a few actual more duels. So this is a pretty cool duel because I feel like the two players here are quite matched skill-wise. Usually lightsaber battles tend to be very one-sided and end extremely quickly, but this one goes on for like 20 seconds, which is pretty nice. Now, moving on to our number 2 spot, we've got a clip that's just a great reference to one of the movies. So we've got one man down low, an honorable Jedi, well, not Jedi, but whatever, lightsaber user up high, with the high ground. And, well, let's go ahead and watch. Now, with all that said, and moving on to our number 1 spot, this is the coolest Star Wars clip I've seen so far. So first of all, I should just let you know that the title of this clip is called Traitor. If you want to know why, well, just watch. So yeah, like the thing I love about this clip is there's just so much that happens. So first of all, let's just acknowledge the fact that he landed that sniper shot on a lightsaber user. That's impressive to begin with. Also the fact that he managed to kill a lightsaber user without using one on his own. And obviously the best part of the entire clip is that he uses the riot baton to do actual damage to the lightsaber user. That is absolutely incredible and something that truly would take balls of steel. I was very impressed that this man did it for the memes and for the movie. And on top of that, getting the kill on this guy was just absolutely fantastic. And ladies and gentlemen, with that all said, that is going to be our video for today. Now, if you guys enjoyed this one, again, make sure to subscribe, okay? Ranking every Hey What's Up at 3 million subscribers, so get on it. With all that said though, that has been our video for the day. Thank you again for watching. I'll talk to you later, and peace out, you freaking nerds. I will be ranking all Hey What's Up. Hey What's Up. Hey What's Up. What's Ups. Hey, I'll be ranking all Hey What's Ups